I'm finally doing it. Believe it or not, I actually had the AX1000, the 850, and the 750 all at the same time, but it's taken me until now to unbox the AX750. Sorry about that. All right, so this is the AX750. This is an 80 plus gold professional series power supply from Corsair. It is a high performance power supply. It's also a very silent, very efficient power supply. So I'm not gonna waste too much time looking at the box and whatnot. The cameraman seems to be doing that for me anyway. And we're just going to open this guy right up because he is pretty similar to the AX850 and the AX1000 in many regards. The key difference is, well, 100 or 250, depending on which one you're comparing it against. So how many watts of power it can output, that is the key difference. There we go, finally. All right, so first thing, yes, 80 plus gold, as I mentioned before. It's also got a 7-year warranty from Corsair, which is just outstanding on a power supply. I mean, think about that. In the year 2017, this power supply will still be covered by warranty. That's like having a power supply you bought back in 2003 that still has warranty today. That's just amazing. So here is the power supply itself, and I've still got a couple more stickers to break here, and we'll show you what it has attached to it in terms of cables. There it is. Corsair really does a terrific job of packaging. So you've got your nice closed cell foam. That stuff is durable no matter what you do to it. Like I couldn't damage this power supply no matter how hard I heave on it. It uses awesome packing material to make sure it's going to arrive at your house safe and sound, even if you're getting it shipped. And I said AX1000. I'm so sorry. I meant AX1200. That is a 1200 watt power supply. So the difference is actually 450, not 250. Okay, so here we go. We have a power cable. Next we have some zip ties as well as a powered by Corsair sticker. We have 4 black thumb screws, little nice touches. That's what Corsair is all about, little nice touches. Black, black. It's gonna match your case, it's gonna match your power supply because if you bought them from Corsair, they're probably black. All right, we've got our modular cables here. So why don't we go through those really quick first, actually, and then we'll do the power supply itself. So the first ones we find are here, the next ones we find are here, and then there's some more. So this is a fully modular power supply, which means we've got, this cable is for the 750AX and the 850AX only. That is your 24-pin power cable. You will pretty much need to attach that no matter what kind of a system you're building, pretty much. All right, this I'm going to tuck away for just a moment. Okay, here. We have a 4+4 pin, so that means we can either plug in single 4 or we can plug in both for 8-pin power. So that one you're pretty much going to need to attach as well. Next we have another 4+4 pin. Okay, so you can actually plug this into certain EVGA boards as well as some ASUS motherboards. We'll actually use dual 8-pin connectors, so we have full support for that. Next, in terms of PCI Express, we have 2 modular PCI Express cables, and you can see these are optimized for high-end graphics cards, which means you've got 2 cables coming off of each individual plug on the power supply. That means that if you're running high-end graphics cards, you're pretty much running 2 PCIe cables to each graphics card, so it saves you some wiring. Okay, so you've got support for up to 2 high-end graphics cards off of this power supply. Next, in terms of SATA, we have 1, 2, so there's just, oh, okay, we've got a few different options here. So we've got 2 dual SATA, and then we have 2 quad SATA cables. So you can decide, hey, you want to run a dual one up to your optical drives, you want to run a quad one down to your hard drives where you're running a RAID 10. Cool, you got lots of options. That's the whole point of modular power supplies, which a lot of people seem to have, or a lot of companies seem to have forgotten in their design process somewhere. That's what Corsair does for you. They give you options. All right. Then we have 2 quad Molex, and then we've also got 2 Molex to floppy adapters. So that is your entire cable complement for the AX750. Next, let's pull the power supply out of its nice little bag, which you could keep your gym strip in if you wanted to, if you were in high school and you still had gym strip. All right, we have a 120 millimeter fan on the bottom of the power supply. It looks like it's just built. Like that's probably a Panaflow or a Pabst or Delta or something. I actually don't know who makes that fan, but it's a very, very industrial looking fan. You can really tell with some of them that they're built a little better than others. On the side, we've got the Corsair AX750 branding here. Then we move around to the back, we've got another AX750. It looks like it's intended to be installed this way up rather than the other way, although it doesn't actually matter. We have a power switch as well as our power input, then a honeycomb grill at the back, which is pretty much industry standard. Then we have another Corsair branded side here. I don't know which side I showed you before, but they're both the same. But here's a clever touch. Look at this. So if I install it this way in my case, it's going to be right side up as a bottom mounted power supply. And if I install it this way in my case, at the top of the case, if I have a top mounted power supply, it's also going to be right side up. How neat is that? Oh, I didn't even mention this yet. This is a single 12-volt rail power supply, so you can provide up to 62 amps off that single 12-volt rail. So you don't have to worry about when you're, plugging one cable in here and one cable in there. Well, how much stuff do I have running on each rail? How much stuff do I not have running on other rails? Don't worry about that at all because it's all coming off the same 12-volt rail. This power supply is also capable of providing nearly its entire 750 watts, that is 744 watts, off of that single 12-volt rail. Outstanding. Last but not least, here is the modular interface at the back of the power supply, so you can plug in. Let's just do a quick rundown here. So you can plug in your 24 pin, and that's going to go here and here. You can plug in your, let me see, where are those 4+4s? So where do those go? The 4+4s go here. And then where else do they go? I don't know, actually. Do they go here? Huh, can you only plug in one of those? That can't be right. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I get it. Yeah, they actually both have slightly different connectors on them. So one of them plugs into this guy. So this is a dedicated 4-pin connector. And then the other one, whoops, well, you gotta plug it in the right way. The other one, you have to make a choice. So you can either plug in a 4+4, all right, and you can use up one of these two slots here, or you can plug in one of your dual PCIe connectors. So what Corsair is basically saying is they don't want you powering like a crazy board that has dual 8-pin connectors, like a dual socket board off this motherboard, in addition to 2 high-end graphics cards. That's the limitation that they're putting on you here, which I think is more than fair for the 750 watt unit, because you should probably be springing for like a 1200 watt unit if you're doing something like that. Now in terms of other cables, you can plug in up to 5 other things. So that means you can either go with the 2 quad Molex and 3 SATAs, or you can go with 4 SATAs and then 1 quad Molex, or whatever it is that you need. So thank you for checking out my unboxing of the Corsair AX750. That is an 80+ gold, highly efficient, highly silent power supply. And don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other random tech-related videos, or even not tech-related sometimes.